defended. He's unable to reach it. Sakamoto does! And he does! Right there to make sure!
Welcome back to the Little Trips Big Shout podcast.
Today's episode, we look back at the disappointing result against Norwich and ahead to our visit to QPR.
Hello, Eden.
Hello!
How are you doing?
Good.
Okay, so unfortunately, another loss for Coventry away at Norwich. We never win at Norwich, not since 2009, so a long time ago. And I think you had predicted a 2-0 Coventry win. We did go 1-0 up, but couldn't hang on to it in the second half, unfortunately. You've seen the highlights. Do you have any thoughts on the match?
It was very sad that we couldn't get a win.
Yeah. Especially once we went one ahead. But did you have a player of the match?
Essay and Hedgie Wright.
Yeah, they both were pretty good. Essay, a few nice touches. And Hadji was dangerous. Very unlucky one off the line. I think my player of the match was Milan. I thought if he wasn't on his game, then we could have been in more trouble because he cut out quite a bit. And I thought it was a good battle between him and Ahmed, as we said in the preview. But yeah. All right. Any last thoughts, or should we move on to the QPR preview?
I don't have any more thoughts.
Yeah, we'll just draw a line under that one and move to the next game. Play up Sky Blues.
Yeah!
Okay, so looking back at the Norwich defeat, disappointing results, and especially having gone ahead, possibly against the run of play. I thought we looked dangerous in the first half going forward, but vulnerable going the other way, and maybe Norwich just about won the midfield battle in that first half, which meant that after the first 10 minutes or so, they kind of seemed like they were in control, but without really creating too many clear-cut chances. They obviously had the chance from the corner where they hit the post, but and there's a possible penalty shout in there after that. But in general, I thought they looked dangerous without really creating clear-cut chances. Obviously had a couple of shots from like the edge of the box, which on another day maybe they do better with those. But yeah, and I thought obviously SA looked dangerous. Good, nice finish for the goal. Lovely little flick through to Hadji, and good shot saved by the keeper. Difficult night for BTA. I thought he looked good, didn't he, coming on in the last game, but I thought from the start you could see he was a bit rusty. And couldn't quite burst away from defenders when he had the chance. I remember one break down the left where Hadji was steaming into the far post and he just couldn't really get a decent cross across, which is a bit disappointing. But yeah, to get ahead, you thought, right, second half, we've got the lead. We can kind of sort of be a bit more pragmatic and catch them on the break as they're pushing forward, but didn't really work like that when they scored after 37 seconds, which was really, really disappointing. Obviously, straight into the second half, and that really did give them all the momentum. Having said that, I feel like in some ways it was almost encouraging that even in a game where I think all will acknowledge we weren't quite at our best. You know, if you look at the chances, you know, we had an XG of 1.9, they had 1.18. So even in a game where we're not at our best, we were still creating the better chances. Really unlucky from EMC, header off the bar, stretching. Hadji one off the line, another save at the near post from their keeper, which wasn't a great chance, but, you know, sometimes those go in, don't they? So I think we've got enough going forward. Just got to tighten up in that midfield area so that we're not so vulnerable when there's a turnover. And I think everyone's pretty much saying the same thing in their analysis. And, I think obviously we'd like a signing. I think we'd like a really dominant kind of midfield player that we can have in certain games where we need to win that midfield battle or it's going against us. It's just another option to have in there. However, I think you have to say this is a calculated risk that Frank and the team, Joe and are taking, banking on the fact that we will be vulnerable, but because we're putting so much emphasis on the attack, we'll win some games that we otherwise wouldn't have, and that'll be enough to kind of get us across the line. Because surely Talk must be being told to push up and press on and squeeze their defensive players, because otherwise it would be rectified, wouldn't it? And I think that's interesting. I mean, it does seem to be paying dividends at home, right? We're winning, even if we do look a bit vulnerable at times. And that means if we continue to kind of win most home games, we only need to pick up a few away wins, and that might well do it for us. However, if it was me, I would probably be going a bit more pragmatic away from home. Even without any signings, you've got options in there. You can play Eccles in the 8 and ask him to just be a bit more conservative, a bit more pragmatic, cover the spaces, get forward when there's an opportunity, but generally be just a little deeper to support Grimes in there and cover the runners when there's a turnover, and then just leave the firepower we've got at the top now. Just leave Rudy or SA or Brandon, whoever's in the 10, the wide men and the forward, to go and get you the goals. And obviously, if you've got two players there, two bodies in the midfield, it's easier for one of them to cover the fullbacks, because I think the fullbacks can go, and possibly they should be going sort of one at a time. So you've always got a cover on one side and a midfielder to drop in. And so we're just a little bit harder to play through once the ball turns over. I think everyone can see that. I think even without any signings, we can rectify some of that. And I think the idea is to press and squeeze the game, but the press is just not what it was in the early part of the season. You'd like to think as Brandon gets his fitness, he helps with that if he's in the team, but that is the key thing, because the press isn't so aggressive. The forward players are working hard enough, but it's not a coordinated press that's effective in the way it was in the early part of the season. And so once their teams are able to bypass our first line of players, we've talked so high up the pitch, there's just so much space. Effectively, it was like a 4-4-2, but Brandon was playing the 10, but he was pushing up quite high, and then you had Talk pushing up as well. Everyone's probably seen that funny tweet with the formation, which I thought was quite funny. It did feel like that at times, didn't it? Like, it was just literally like the centre backs and Grimes trying to stop a yellow surge into our half. We earmarked Ahmed as the one to watch, and he did have a good game. I thought Milan played really well. Good battle between them. I thought Milan was getting the better of it, and then obviously two moments of one moment of quality for the pass through to Slimani, although you're disappointed he's able to run off Bobby so easily, and then obviously arriving late to get the goal, and that's just we're committed up the pitch, and Kitch Kitch has a moment, so it's difficult for everyone to get back. So disappointing, and I think I'm trying to look at it in the positive, which is that even on a game where we looked a bit leggy, not at our best, we still did enough to really get a draw there. You know, we had chances, really unlucky with a couple, and had it not been for Kitchen's just, slip up and giving the ball away, maybe we would have got the draw. I mean, Norwich did look good in their second half, so they may have found a way through anyway. But Norwich are a good team. And as I said before, I see them as kind of similar to us. And it just shows you how well it's gone. Because you'd say our squads aren't too dissimilar. Like, they've got good quality. Can you imagine we were in their position, you know, swap Sargent for Wright. Wright doesn't want to play for us. He wants to go back to America. That's how easy it can be to kind of fall away from these heights. You know, I believe our squad is one of the best. You know, in the first 11 is one of the best in the league, and we should be up there competing, definitely. But we can't take it all for granted, and I think we've got to stick with it. I posted up my breakdown of the fixtures on our. You can catch that on our YouTube. That was from episode 26, I think, from the Leicester preview. But I'm kind of using that as my blueprint, and so when results kind of don't go along with that, I'm going to start to feel a bit more nervous. But at the moment, we're tracking ahead of where I thought we might be. I was kind of hoping for 4 points from Leicester and Millwall, and we got the 6. Wasn't really expecting anything from Norwich, but hoping for, you know, us to just go there and get something. And it didn't work out, but not too worried. QPR, similarly, I've got as one of those kind of floating fixtures where it's one of the ones that we need to get a result from bunch. So Norwich, QPR, Hull, Watford, you know, a bunch of them. And so maybe QPR will be one where we can get a win or a draw and then set ourselves up going into that Oxford game. So yeah, overall, obviously really disappointing result. We weren't quite energetic enough. One thing that I think is really concerning is the tackles and interceptions. We're way down. You know, we're actually bottom of the league for interceptions and I think 22nd for tackles, which is not good enough. You know, teams need to have to work a lot harder to get chances against us, and we need to get that balance better. You know, and I think it was, you know, you could see Norwich are playing the same formation, but they were much more defensively responsible, weren't they, in the midfield when we had the ball. You know, we did create chances against them, and I feel like we are the better attacking team, but they were effective going forward, but disciplined going backwards in the midfield. Defensively, I mean, they defended well, didn't they? But I thought we did enough to probably get 2 goals on the day. So, you know, let's not get carried away. But they did show that they had the slightly better balance with the formation. Having said that, you know, looking at the stats, we had more of the possession. We had the higher XG. Same amount of shots on target. We created 3 big chances. We missed them all. They created 2 big chances and didn't miss any of them. So, you know, that's the story of the game, isn't it? So we have to just, move on, not dwell on it, not get carried away. I think people are getting really, really desperate for new signings, and obviously we've, as of recording, we've brought in a new player, Genoa, which is exciting. That's a strange one. I'm not sure we were all kind of looking for a winger. It seems even more bizarre that we got Yang and Esse if we had a winger coming in, because surely Esse could play either side. So it would be interesting to see what we do there. But obviously an exciting signing. He's got lots of dribbles, high up in the stats for the whole of Europe. So exciting prospect, and obviously permanent signing, and hopefully one of these targets that we're looking at now, which are ones we think can do a job in the Prem or the Championship. Obviously, hopefully the Prem next season, because that's kind of how we got to recruit now, unless we're just going for experience or bodies to get us across the line, which is also a sort of viable strategy, isn't it? So, I think I thought Milan was probably man of the match, even though the goal did come down his side, and it was his man that gets the second. But you can kind of understand it based on how the ball broke to them. He's up the pitch thinking about attacking, and then suddenly there's a breakdown on our back line. So it's really difficult to recover then, isn't it? But fair play to Norwich. They look a decent side now under Clement, and you'd think they'll be well clear of relegation, and they'll probably be a contender next season. Probably a bit late to get up there this season into the playoffs, but they're one of the form teams in the league, and I think they were 2 points better off than us over the last 10, and now they've gone 5 points better off for the last 11, which is disappointing. But we've just got to focus on ourselves, keep chipping away, getting those home wins and picking up a few away, and that should be enough to keep us in the automatic conversation. The way things are going, it's quite possible that we might draw level with Middlesbrough, or they might even go ahead of us at some point with the next run of fixtures we've got. But they've also got to keep grinding out the results. We know what the Championship's like. Teams can have a hot streak and then it can just turn, can't it? So let's keep the faith, keep supporting, as I keep saying, and let's try and enjoy this, man. Come on, this is the best season we've had for a long time. It will feel really crap if we slip away, but still, this is the best position we've been in for a long time. So let's try and enjoy it. We've got some of the best, really good squad of players, likeable players, good players, and I think we can do it. I think we've got it in there. Just got to keep our heads. It's a big challenge for the squad and for the management team. I quite like when Joe Edwards speaks. He speaks well. He's kind of like engaging. Didn't really like when he said it was a new thing for him and Frank and everyone to be top of the league and being hunted down. I know that's true, but I sort of felt a bit like, I don't really want to hear that. I just want to hear that you've been above this level and you're operating like a Prem setup in the Championship, and you're confident that you're going to get it done. That's kind of how I want to think about it. But this is the reality, right? I think especially away, it's going to be like this. Like some losses, maybe some wins we don't expect, and then a couple of draws, and that's all we need to do away, as long as the home form stays consistent. Obviously, if the home form drops off a bit, that puts a lot of pressure on the away games. We need to step it up then. But fingers crossed we can keep that home form, which has been pretty consistent since Frank's come in, really. We haven't lost too many at home. So long may that continue, and let's move on to the next one. So we'll move on to the QPR predictions and play up Sky Blues. Okay, so Eden, next game is Queen's Park Rangers. They are 12th in the table, and roughly they are 4 points off Wrexham, who are in 6th. So 4 points from the playoffs. Played 29, won 11, drawn 7, lost 11, scored 42, scored 40, conceded 42. So, can I get your prediction, please?
I don't know.
Not sure about this one.
Yeah, not sure. I might go for 2-1.
2-1 to Coventry.
2 to Coventry and 1 to QPR.
Okay, good. Like it. I think, I don't know why, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 Coventry win.
What?
But yeah, I think we're not in great form away, so it would be really good if we could get a win just to kind of get the away form back on track. But let's see. Be a tough game. QPR got good attacking players, exciting players. I think they've got a few injuries at the moment, so hopefully we can catch them at a good time. And who are going to be your scorers in your 2-1, Eden?
Is the new one going to play?
Oh yeah, we haven't spoken about Genoa. What was his name? His surname? Can't remember now. Marcello. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. He might be in the squad. I'm sure he would be registered in time. But we've got a lot of right wingers now. We've got SA, Tats, and Genoa. So I don't know. But do you think he might get a goal on his debut? That would be good. Who's going to be your 2 then?
Milan. And Chevron.
And Chevron. Yeah, that'd be good. I'll go for, in my 3, I'll go for Haji Wright. Maybe Torp will get one here, free kick, and go for SA again. Keep the run going. All right. Well, thank you very much, and play up Sky Blues.
Yay!
Till the next time. Peace out.
Woohoo!
Break it down.
Okay, so looking ahead to Queen's Park Rangers. Feels like a big game now, doesn't it? Like a good opportunity to try and shake off the Norwich disappointment and get an away win in the books. They are down in 12th position. Haven't been great. They're kind of like a streaky team. They go on runs and then sort of do the opposite. So they'll go on winning run and then a losing run. It just is such a bizarre thing. Kind of depends when they time their good run to whether they can get back up into that playoff shout. They are only 4 points off Wrexham in 6th, so they'll still be sort of eyeing that. Quite a lot of injuries from what I can see. They have Ilias Chair injured, Varane, Saito. Gosh, Milan will be pleased about that because every time I've seen him play Milan, he's absolutely ruined him. And Poku also injured, and I'm not quite sure. Romain Burrell, I think, also injured. Yeah, so they're all kind of expected back early to mid-Feb. So that's really quite devastating, I guess, for them. Burrell's been good for them this year. Saito, really good player. And obviously Kwame Poku came in the summer. Ilias Chair, we know about him. So really difficult time for them, I guess. And they'll be sort of trying to tread water a bit, I guess, until they can get those players back. Obviously, we know they just took Justin Abiku off us. Interesting to see whether he gets anywhere near their first team this season or whether they're looking at him for kind of next year. I think he's a talented guy, Abiku. He's kind of good profile for the Championship. So it'll be interesting. I'll be watching his development with interest to see how he does there. Obviously, wish him all the best, apart from on Saturday if he gets a chance to play. So yeah, QPR 1 1 win in 7, which isn't fantastic, is it? And that win was against Sheffield Wednesday, so pretty much everyone's beating Sheffield Wednesday. I'll just have a quick look. So for home teams, they are 11th, played 14, won 7, drawn 2, lost 5, scored 26, given up 20. So they're not completely watertight at home, are they? I think they're a team that you can get at. There's only Sheffield Wednesday, Blackburn and Norwich who've lost more than them at home. Obviously, we know Norwich picking up now, but they lost, I think, their first 6 or 7 on the bounce under Manning at home. So that's obviously why they're so bad on that stat. There are a few other teams who've lost 5 as well, but I think we've definitely got a chance in this one. So I think, look, if we can go there and assert our game and get our strikers and wide players into it, we should be able to create a few chances. Doesn't seem to be like a one kind of pattern or type of goal that they've been susceptible to. I've seen a few set pieces, a few where the wingers got wide and crossed. So people not tracking their runners sometimes. So I think we've just got to mix it up and play our normal attacking game really, and we should be able to create some chances. Be interesting to see what team Frank goes with. I think they said Rudy would be back for this one, so it'd be interesting to see if he just goes straight back into the 10. BTA looked a bit rusty, didn't he, fully in the Norwich game, despite looking pretty sharp the games before. So, and then obviously we've got Genoa, new signing, so possible he could be involved as well. So we're sort of got a plethora of wingers all of a sudden. Not sure how we fit them all in, but maybe SA will play in the 10, and I think Tats probably could get a start based on the form he's been showing off the bench, and maybe move SA into the 10 and have see how that works, because he had some nice little touches, didn't he? It kind of flicks through to Hadji and stuff like that. So that might be something that pays dividends. And I think, as I said in the review of the Norwich game, I think I'd possibly consider, well, even if you keep Torp in, just instructing him to be a bit more conservative and only break when there's a real opportunity, but generally stay quite a bit deeper so there's more cover. Personally, would consider having Eccles in at the moment away from home, just to kind of have a few more legs in there for the defensive covers. But it'd be interesting to see how Frank plays it. And so we'll have a quick look at the stats. QPR, FOTMob rates them the 20th best team in the league, so not very high on the FOTMob rating, 6.73. Their XG for the season, 34.3, which is 15th. Ours is 55.6, still first. Not a high possession team, 46.1. I think at their best, they've got really good attacking players, fast attacking players. Burrell, Saito, Poku, Ilias Chair, they're all good dribblers, quick, clever players. So we're quite fortunate to be playing them at this time when all of those players are out. That's a big bonus, which is possibly something to do with why their form has not been great. I know before they lost to Wrexham in their last one, which they were very unlucky to lose that game actually, like Wrexham pulled out 2 goals in injury time, and they're sort of like, long shots, so not really repeatable. So QPR will feel very hard done by after that. But before that, they had 2 0-0s. So they've obviously tried to tighten up while they're missing those forward players. Still got Dembele and Kone, so they've still got threat going forward. Vale, I think he might have been the one who scored against us last time. The one that bounced up over Dovin. So yeah, I think as we know with the Championship, if you've got to be on it, and you've got to work and earn it. But if we can't beat them now, having beaten them so heavily earlier in the season, they'll be keen to make sure nothing like that happens. But without those players, you'd like to think we can get it done here. So just back to their stats, shots on target 3.8 per game, 15th versus our 5.8 per game. Big chances, they've created 48, they're 16th, we've created 75, second only to Southampton. They're quite high for accurate long balls, so that maybe gives an indication of their style, trying to kind of get it forward to their talented forward players and quickly. I don't think they sort of knock it over the top so much as just knock it into the channels or into Kone, who can kind of bring other players into play. But it's more down the channels, I think, from what I can see on the highlights and stuff. But accurate long balls 23.8, so they're 5th for that. We're down in 16th, so we don't have that many, although we do go direct from time to time, don't we? Touches in the opponent's box, they are quite high for that, 7-10, 7th, and we're 8-9-1 first. So they get it forward to the wide men and drive into the box. Quite often that's their attacking mode. Quite often they'll have like overlapping fullbacks or fullbacks making an inside run. So that's kind of one of their attacking routes. And they're quite good at that, actually. So that's something we'll have to be alive to. So interesting team. Doesn't look great, does it, on the stats? They don't look like particularly good going forward. They're not creating tons. They're not dominating the ball. They're not getting that many shots away. And they're not creating tons of big chances as compared to the rest of the league. XG against 32.7. They are 8th and we're 32.1, 7th. So kind of similar to us for the season. And just have a look. Interceptions. So we're last for that. I think I might have said last for tackles and 22nd for interceptions. But anyway, bottom for interceptions, 24th, 7.2. They are 20th, 7.4 interceptions. So it's not like they're having loads more. And then tackles, they're 17th, 14.7. We're 13.2. So we're 22nd for that. And they do press decently. Possession one in the final third, they're 6th, 3.8. Not too far from us with 3.5, but down in 10th. So they're not great. They're not great defensively. I think their strength is in attack, but obviously with the injuries, that's not helping them. And then they're not fantastic defensively. So you'd like to think if we have our game together and we get our attacking players into the game, we should be able to cause them some problems and get some goals. And then it's just a question of us keeping it a bit tighter at the back, not being so open, because they do move it quickly to the wide, I guess similar to their kind of Millwall patterns. Get it wide to those players and ask them to do something. And they do have Dembele still. They have Kone, so they're good players and they can be a threat, but you'd like to think with all those injuries, this is a good time to play them, a good chance for us to get the good feelings back, chalk off one of the away wins and lead into that Oxford game, which will be tough. They're battling and scrapping, picking up draws and the wins they won last time out. So, there's no guarantees, but you'd like to think if we roll into that Oxford game at home off the back of an away win at QPR, people will be feeling a bit better about life, Coventry fans at least. So I think player to watch for them, I'm just gonna go for Kone. I think he's a really good striker. Would have been one I would have been interested in if we were going down the route of trying to bring someone in. But yeah, good signing for them. And for us, I think it kind of depends who plays, doesn't it? But I think the attacking kind of triangle is the key thing. Be interesting to see how Frank goes, but we'll say SA some good form, 2-2. So hopefully he can create or score again in this one, and let's hope bit tighter in the midfield, bit more fight, picking up some more second balls, and we can have a good chance of getting some joy in this one. So yeah, play up Sky Blues. I think probably could have done a bit more analysis on their setup, but bit pressed for time on this one, so I'm going to leave it there. But let's get, I think there'll be a good turnout again, won't there, at QPR for Saturday, and let's hope we can get a good result. Be looking forward to it, because get that Norwich game out of our system. All right, go well, everyone. Really hope you are doing well, and till the next time, take it easy.
Thank you for listening. Please share, like, or leave a review if you like what we're doing.